Snow White was an investment, not a loss, as far as Disney is concerned. I think it's very important that we stop trying to pretend like Disney is an entertainment company. They have not been an entertainment company for decades. This is a neo-Marxist company. This is a globalist company. It's a company that is used to propagate ideas. They have been fully co-opted by the globalist elite cabal, and they have been for quite a long time. This is why they don't care how much money they lose on Snow White. As a matter of fact, if anything, there is a tremendous benefit for them by doing so poorly on Snow White, not just financially, but also with critical reviews and blatant wokeness and all this other stuff, all the bad press they got. Well, that bad press means that people are talking about it, and that's exactly what they want. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that Disney sits there and they're like, okay, let's see how much money we can lose. Let's see how bad the ratings are. They do hope to get the best of both worlds. They'd like to make money while also spreading their worldview, spreading the wokeness, spreading the cultural Marxism. But that is their primary goal. Financial benefits, profits, anything that you and I would probably think is important for a company, not to them. Let's put this into perspective. So they're about to probably lose somewhere between, estimates put it somewhere between, say, $50 million and $250 million on the very, very high end, as far as money that they're going to lose as a result of Snow White. I don't think it's going to be that high, not when we include all of the box office receipts across the globe, but you never know. So we'll use that number. Let's say they lose $250 million. That's a massive amount of money, right? That's like, holy cow. They went woke and they're going to go broke now, and they're going to learn their lesson, and they're never going to do this again. And it's amazing that they just keep doing it over and over again. But this time, by golly, this one's so bad that they're going to do it again. This is a company that generated, if I recall, I think $92 billion just in revenue. Their market capitalization is like $181 billion, right? So they've got money. They got lots of money. And that's just the money that we know about. That's not including money that they have in corporations, shell corps, hidden corporations, hidden benefactors, and whatever, various globalist oligarchs that are also directly involved. We don't even count any of that stuff. We're just looking at their public books. And $92 billion in revenue per year, that would be the equivalent. Let's say that you make $92,000 a year. This would be the equivalent of a $250 loss. A donation, you will. We'll say an investment, because that's really what this is. Snow White was an investment. As far as Disney is concerned, and the people that control Disney, as far as they're concerned, this was an investment to spread the cultural Marxism, to spread the destructive ideology, the anti-Christian, anti-American, anti-everything good and traditional in the world. No, pushing against the patriarchy, pushing against Caucasians, pushing against the idea of marriage. I mean, we're talking about a story where the feminist princess in the beginning, in the original 1937, here she is. She's a strong young lady, but she's seeking true love. She finds it. They're going to have a family. They're going to, blah, 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 blah. Instead, we replace it with whatever this abomination is, and that's a good thing as far as Disney is concerned. I'm not saying that they don't want to make money, but that is their secondary consideration. They would rather make money than lose money on their projects, but if their project does lose money, it was just an investment, and a small one as far as they're concerned. A small one at that. They can make it up by producing something else that has a super low budget and gets moderate returns, and all of a sudden 2, 3, 4 of those strung together, and they have made back their losses. They're not worried about that. And even if they don't make back their losses, again, it's the equivalent of making a $250 donation if you're making $92,000 a year in salary. So what does that donation do? Well, it gets people talking. Like I said, it gets the indoctrination, but you don't even have to watch it to get the effects, to be talking about it. I, unfortunately, because I'm doing the story, I am participating in spreading the attention towards Snow White and getting people, whether it's adults or children, to be hearing more about it every day, getting hammered with Snow White even before the movie was released. All sorts of buzz. They actually got more buzz by not doing the red carpet premiere than they would have if they had done the red carpet premiere. I mean, there's a reason, a very, very obvious reason, as far as I'm concerned, why they would pick the two female leads for this particular movie. They both, one happens to be pro-Hamas, the other one happens to be Israeli. What are the chances? Such a crazy coincidence. Why didn't they take that into consideration when they were doing their casting, you might ask? Well, they did. And they intended. This movie was supposed to be about controversy. And at the heart of that controversy is the attack against the family, attack against national sovereignty, attack against the faith. Those are the things they wanted to push out there, and it worked. You have everybody talking about it. Left, right, center, everybody's talking about it. But the people on the right, we're ripping on it. Sure we are. But guess what? Our audience, the people that listen to me because they want to hear what I have to say, or the people that listen to Matt Walsh or whoever, anybody, they're listening to people on the right, those people aren't going to be swayed one way or the other. But people around them may be. And just because they're hearing our message doesn't necessarily mean that they won't hate that message. The fact that I'm talking about it, the fact that other conservative and alternative media personalities are talking about it, just gives them, the radical left, more of a reason to want to like and embrace and defend and spread the buzz, the messaging, the indoctrination, the brainwashing of Snow White. I was able to come across a very good, I would say. Make sure I find it. There it is. A very good article over at fandompulse.substack.com, written by John F. Trent, titled Unhuman's Author Explains Why Disney Does Not Care If Films Like Snow White Lose Massive Amounts of Money. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will get to the important quotes. This is in reference to, they're referring to, and I don't know what Unhumans is. I know that makes me probably old or something, but I've never heard of Unhumans. Joshua Lysick. We'll go with Lysick. Joshua Lysick. I hope that's correct. So he wrote it, Unhumans, or produced it. I don't even know if it's a game or what. I am old. But he was asked. He recently appeared on Human Events Daily with Jack Posobiec, where he was asked, why is that cultural Marxists seek to destroy, defile, and alter the fabric of these time-honored myths and stories and allegories throughout our history? And Lysick answered, subversion is necessary for any kind of communist project, even cultural communism, to be successful. And so this is what we mean by subversion. You take a beautiful, wonderful story with great characters and an actual feminine female protagonist, that is the Snow White character. And how is it supposed to go? She's on a heroine's journey, ultimately becoming a wife, and then with motherhood on the horizon, as that is the human's heroine journey, or the woman's heroine journey. The female hero's journey equivalent is marriage and motherhood. You have asked to take that away and say, no, it's actually her being a bachelor, or being bachelor-like, her being sort of the girl boss, Kamala Harris style. He then asked, why do cultural Marxists do this? And is the fact that they are losing so many millions of dollars at the box office really something that bothers them? He replied, it is not something that bothers them, no. We hear on the right this expression, go woke, go broke. That's not correct. That's the point. Again, we are talking about an investment into spreading their cultural Marxism, spreading their lies, spreading their indoctrinating ideologies. So as much as I would love to say this is an opportunity for Disney to learn from their mistakes, the proper response there is that they did. They learned that they can get massive exposure, massive numbers of people talking about it, arguing about it, debating it. And yes, there will still be a whole lot of people that end up watching it. They might not go to the theaters if they're on the right, or they might definitely go to the theaters if they're on the left. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a curiosity watch. You know, I heard the movie was really bad. I heard the dwarves were were horrible. I heard that the acting was bad. I heard that the songs were bad. I got to throw it up on Disney Plus or Netflix or wherever else they're going to put it. I don't watch those shows or those movies. But people are going to watch it. And again, you don't forget that we might say, "Oh, we understand what they're trying to do here, but what about the children? What about the children on the iPad that have access to pretty much whatever they want? The parents aren't really paying too much attention, or maybe they get halfway through it, or whatever." Point is that this movie might not make money, but it is going to get views. It is being discussed ad nauseum right now, and will continue to be discussed for quite a while, especially as new reports come in about how broke they're going. Oh, poor Disney, maybe they're finally going to wake up. They did learn a lesson. They learned that if you can't make money, no big deal. There's a fringe benefit to that as well. Now they get more exposure for this abomination than they have with pretty much anything they put out in years. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you have not already, now would be a great time for you to subscribe and to give me a thumbs up. It's just a couple of clicks, but it dramatically helps me, my family, and of course it helps the United States of America.